Not that I'm not that far ahead by like 350 HP. It really isn't that much. High level Rhino, and I'm just hoping it's not hackers. Hoping it's not hackers. It ends up not being hackers. My opponent goes for the Rhino. I am looking at these units, and I'm also going for the Rhino once again to sell it, similar to the Sabertooth before. The marksmen are still holding strong, but there's only 4 marksmen here. I do have a lot of money, but I can also go into some effective upgrading and drop my money this way. And range, I think, here is also deserved. Stormcallers now have triple tech. That is pretty good. I drop some additional marksmen. They now have range. They have elite. They are very powerful. All the upgrades come out. And I do buy oil. Because I really am not putting it past my opponent to hit this button. Though into my board I think it's not bad. Then again, if your plan is to hack me, that is actually a pretty good one. I have 5 or 6 units of chaff. Now for the moment there is no oil on either side. But the oil simply being here also starts to guard against potential fire, at least right now. Melting points, still good against the fortresses. I had something more expensive than a level 1 fortress to sell right now. But they're also being EMP'd now. And that means range is not really anything they do enough or do have anymore. Meanwhile, the marksmen are complete and utter damage support here. There is still a lot of units, however, and my opponent's Stormcaller numbers are kinda escalating. I am pushing through here, but it's starting to become very, very, very many Stormcallers. However, my marksmen kinda do outrange him. I still have a tank here to bait the shots, and the marksmen are firing away, though the marksmen are kinda exposed now. It ends up being a round number 8 draw. Both of us going for the amp core apparently. I mean, I have more sledges to throw items on. I can sell an additional fortress. So, which sledge got the item? Or gets the item. My opponent used it now. He put it on that melting point here. Has it done the highest damage? Probably, right? No. Why is he not putting it on these level 3 melting points? I'm confused a bit. Why is he putting it on here, this one? He uses a missile. I think he sold something, or did I sell? Ah no, I sold the fortress here. Throw down some missiles so I'm not getting flanked, because wasps in the flank would kinda wreck me right now. And I do end up dropping some additional chaff units now. I'm definitely expecting fire to come out at some point. So I'm putting my crawlers in locations where the first salvo at least will be completely wasted. My opponent is sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units of Stormcallers. And they have launcher overload, so it's kinda beyond the point where you can just drop a war factory and that's it. Missile isn't good enough. Some crawlers are still left over here. That is so many missiles. Sledges, by the way, are now max tech. Some of these sledges, these with the amp core, are dealing almost 6,000 damage. And they just get that tower. They just get that tower. And this also means that even these level 3 melting points under EMP and tower debuffs, you can see the individual tank shots making a big difference on the health bar. This round ends up being won, and quite heavily so. But it's not game over yet. Range specialist comes out. I think that's a gift for me. My opponent is picking the Acid Blast, and that is actually pretty good into my sledges. Because the Stormcallers can do a lot of damage, but they kind of rely on, They need to hit a lot of units, and they're not super amazing damage. At least not yet. I think I completely forgot about the asset this round. I have so much money left over, but I now end up dropping some wasps. Getting my temporary upgrades, hoping to finish it in the next round. My opponent is not forgetting about the asset. He's also buying out and getting temporary upgrades. This is also to guard against potential flanking shenanigans. Drops the asset a bit closer. I still have 500 in the bank, and I think I completely forget to drop shields here. He's also dropping some missiles. That is a lot of devices used. I think, yeah, I end up putting a lot of anti-missile devices here, hoping that I can kind of break through on this side, and under the tower debuff, just take out the other side. In retrospect, I probably should have done that on the other side, because this side is stronger. Despite this having more sledges and everything, or more sledge levels. This side has the higher level melting points, and it has the acid, though that I couldn't have really known, I think. It also has the carry Mustangs. And in the acid, carry Mustangs carry even harder. So right now, this is 12 levels of Mustangs worth. I think I'm not sure if it's 2.5 times or if it's actually 3.5 times damage multiplier. Anyway, that is terrifying damage here. Fortunately, the Mustangs are already all dead. There is so many missiles that they are actually defeating my units. Despite all of the missiles here still being shot down, because there's 5 anti-missile devices here, or almost all of them. Right now it's all of them. I end up not really doing all that well here. I do have superior range on my marksman, which does secure me the round, but it is once again not enough. Overlords come out. I'm not feeling pressured by that. With these marksmen, overlords should be very easy to pop. Some of these marksmen can easily one-shot overlords. And leveled, I think they can easily pop level 2 overlords. Hacker comes out for me. Once again, my opponent does not pick Hacker. Praise the Lord, he didn't pick Hackers. And when I say that, I mean it, by the way. I go for the Hacker because I think it's getting too tempting to pass up. Also, melting points now have EMP of their own, so it's kind of an EMP versus EMP battle. He does drop a missile here, even though, let's be honest, this missile is not going to land. There's too much anti-missile device here. I end up dropping a bunch more levels on all my stuff, and that runs me out of most of my cash. Still haven't added on any additional unit. The wasps are mostly for flank protection. He now has proper level 4 carry Mustangs with range here as well, in addition to these Mustangs. If I were to replay this, I might go for some... Well, with the EMP out, it's no longer that good, but without the EMP, I probably would go for some exploding rhinos here, try to push in a little, and then just take these Mustangs out. They are so close here. My opponent is dropping some oil, but no fire yet. The Stormcaller count has just escalated, by the way. My sledges being slower and more clumped up is helping the Stormcallers to do really amazing damage against them. I was not expecting the Stormcallers to do that much damage. A lot of my sledges have gotten EMP, but I have more sledges behind and they are now EMPing my opponent's melters. All of the melters have been EMP'd. And this hacker is getting a successful hack. Is it going to die now? Yep. Even with all of these anti-missile devices, it was not enough. This is just pure Stormcaller moving in on a couple of carry marksmen. They don't stand a chance. Well, it's not pure. There is some more of these range Mustangs in there. Sledges actually go down to the acid, but there will not be any more acid in the next round. Anti-missile devices doing everything they can. One of the anti-missile devices falls. Crawler spawned from the melter, actually helping out a lot here. EMP comes down, but the melter does not have the HP to last and kill all of these Stormcallers, which means my opponent is taking round number 11. Skill Specialist comes out, which I guess is pretty good for my opponent if the match continues, and it might continue. Missile Strike or Skill Specialist for myself, but I won't really be getting anything out of it. I think I end up taking just the Missile Strike. He is throwing down shields on everything. That is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shields in one round. In the end, I decide to do the Rhino drop simply so that I can bait as many Stormcaller shots as I can. And I'm trying to throw some oil my opponent's way because I'm really expecting the fire button to be hit at this point. And again, it might not even be worth it. And we'll see. I do drop some Overlords, and I only drop them for Photon out of EMP protection. Or concern for EMP protection. There's way too many missiles to intercept, but that is also a lot of missiles that just came down on a Rhino that didn't do a whole lot. The Overlords have been locked on, or one of them has been locked onto already. But I don't really care. They are really just Photon boats. Photon, however, has worn off. That said, it was enough so that the opponent's melters got EMP'd, and not much Photon should have come down on my what's it called, on my sledges. Hacker takes the tower. And my sledges on this side have pushed through, but on this side the Stormcallers are once again winning. I do, however, still have that hacker left. Now there will be a tower debuff for my opponent coming in now. Missile takes out some crawlers that were on the Stormcallers, which is very important. But in the end, I win the round, and that is enough damage to win the game. So how about this? 12 rounds of Sledgehammer versus Stormcaller. At pretty high MMR. I think this player had more MMR than I did. These things, especially these in the later rounds, I think were a thorn in my side. But look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, let me count it again from this perspective so I don't miss any. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 packs of Stormcallers in a standard match, though, not 2v2. Against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 packs of max tech tanks. Boy, this was a wild one. This was a wild ride. Like in the end, it looks like I have almost half the HP remaining. But this could have easily tipped in favor of my opponent, I think, in due time. These Stormcallers were simply too much to intercept. He didn't drop levels on them. I think he should have gone for less melters and more Stormcallers. Because there comes a point where you probably can't be dropping as many anti-missile devices as you need to win that last round. That is all important. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching and listening. And yeah, I hope to see you again in the near future. I do plan on going for a lot more mass sledges. It's just a lot of fun. Getting all of these techs. Look at these sledges. These sledges have done almost 700,000 damage across the match. They are ally number 1 on everything. They could be level 8 soon in the next round. And I almost am willing to bet they would be leveling to level 9 in the round after that. And if Elite had dropped, or Intensive Training had dropped, Intensive Training is the name, they could have leveled to 9 in round number 13 already. These sledges are insane. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. And until next time, everybody.